Okay, I started recording this video with the idea that I could get everything done in less than 15 minutes. Ha 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 ha. That didn't happen. So here is part one. Hey there, more about the music of Dead Space, except this time we're going to be doing something with custom sampling, and we're going to record an instrument together right now and build it in Kontakt as kind of a microcosm example of what I did for I don't know, hundreds of instruments, let's just say, that were made for the first two Dead Space games. Now, one of my favorite strings to record is cello, and I bought my cello years ago online on Amazon. $200 or $300 for the whole thing. That included the bow, an extra set of strings, essentially everything you needed to get started. And ever since then, I've been sampling it and mostly recording live sort of performances, one-pass performances for different cues all the time. It's one of my favorite things to do. Now, I am a drummer. Maybe I'm a classical percussionist and a world percussionist, but I am definitely not a string player. So please, no judgment on my bow hand or performance techniques or anything. This is literally a drummer playing a cello. Okay, so here's what I thought we would do. In the last video, I remembered a cool technique I did where there was a quiet sound in the strings, just playing a random note, like all the string players doing random notes. And then on the loud sampling of that same performance, they did a tremolo, and I think maybe a little bit of pitch bend as well. And we're going to do that exact same thing today. I'm going to play a very high quiet note on the cello, and then I'm going to play that same note with some tremolo and a little bit of pitch bend. Now, normally with cellos, you probably have at least 6 in a decent-sized orchestra. For this, I think we'll do 4 passes. So what I'm going to do is 4 passes of high and quiet, and then 4 passes of loud with the pitch bend. So this is where I usually sit when I record cello. Very, very simple setup. I've got the Telefunken tube mic just right here, about a foot away from the sound hole, pointing at an angle in a spot that I hopefully won't hit with the bow, although I can't make any promises. Now, if you're wondering, like, is Jason a real legit cello player? Let me show you this. Earplug. Really, really good for muting those strings that you don't want to play. So normally, if you're playing this string, if you're not a real cello player like me, there's a good chance that you're accidentally going to play one of the others. And this way, you scoot that earplug up underneath the adjacent strings, and they're muted. I actually use that on guitar too, but don't tell anybody. So I've got my bow here. I know enough that you need one of these, and you need some rosin. It's already rosined, and I'm ready to go. Cubase is already set up, and I have just a sustain pedal hooked up to the CC121 Cubase controller, so when I step on the pedal, it will start recording. And I'm just going to do 4 passes of 2 different articulations. So 4 quiet and 4 loud. And we'll make them, 10 seconds long. I'm going to hit start just on my stopwatch so I can kind of keep track of the time. Let's see, I think something like, that sounds pretty awful. Let's try that. let's make sure that we can see what's going on. 2 more takes. All right, so I hit stop. Now, you may have noticed, especially with the louder one, I tried to do 4 different performances for each one of those takes. So the idea is, it's kind of like a random note, but they're really, really, really close together. And I found if you have something that sort of sticks out, maybe one spot where like a player goes a lot higher than the others, it's the obvious call for your brain to go, wait, I just heard that 10 seconds ago. That must be a loop. So I try really hard to keep the performances different, but I'm really out of breath. I think being a drummer and doing tremolo is probably bad. I don't think string players dig in quite that much. But the idea is to keep the individual 4 performances different, but they're consistent within each one. So when you go to loop it, there's nothing that's really standing out. That's it for now. We'll see you next time for part 2.